Hi you guys, this is Allison coming at you from My Space to Craft, and today I have been thinking about this and prepared to make some cards. I owe some cards both to my mom, and I said I would try and make some cards for church to give out. So I've been doing a little prep work. I had a ton of scraps sitting on my desk from various projects. And so I decided I would use them along with some 6x6 paper pads. And then I think it was last week, MayMay Made It did a one of her weekly shows. I'm just going to show you guys this. I did a screenshot and she made this, excuse my dog, she made this really cute card using, she didn't do scraps, she just cut from 6x6 pads or 6x8 pads, but this cute sort of quilt looking woven card. And she included some of the measurements. And so I love this style of card, which is called a book style card. And so I thought that I'd make it. My goal is for each design that I do that I can make 2 of them. So I have 2 sets of papers here for 2 different cards. I've done even 2 rough sketches of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 2 of these, and this is actually at an angle, but I'm going to do 2 of these book style cards with the woven strips of scraps. So I probably should have recorded this earlier in the day because my dogs are going crazy now. Anyway, and so that's the first sketch that I did. And then in the second sketch, and we'll see how far I get. Hopefully I can put this all in one video. My exchange student was making some cards, so that's been almost a year ago. And she had these arches, semicircles left over, and some paper from a really cute paper pad. And so I thought, what if I use that for the sentiment and then add some other circles in similar paper and put that on a printed paper. So it'll be pretty busy, but fun and bold. So that's the second set, but I'm just gonna set those to the side and we're gonna start on this first card. So I took one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper to make my card bases. So one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, cut it halfway at the 4 1/4 mark, long ways, and then scored it halfway at 5 1/2, and then scored again at 1 1/4 inches, and that is going to provide the book style. And that leaves you with a square here on an A2 card, which is where a 4x4 card will fit nicely. I usually use white for my card bases. Just it's easier to write on. Sometimes I use craft or some other color, but I picked this peachy color because it would go with some of the papers that I'm looking at, and I think that the strips would look better on white and pop off white. And so that's why I chose this color, and then I'm gonna do a white card. I am gonna simplify from what MayMay Made It had on hers. she had this on, yet she cut this down a tiny bit and had that on another card. And I'm just gonna do it straight like this. And then I'm probably gonna do just one strip of paper here. And she did more of the 1/2-inch strips along here. So in an effort to just simplify that, I think I like the look of one strip here. You can even put a ribbon around here, and you're going to glue this completely down. So it's going to make a really cute card. So that is the plan, but I don't need to worry about these right now. So I'll just set those aside and we will build on these. So I'm going to do the prep work and then glue down one, and then I'll do the other one off camera. So I'm going to use my Creative Memories personal trimmer for most of this, since everything's pretty small scale and I'm working with a lot of scraps. So most of this paper is from this Spellbinders paper pad. This was from a Happy Birthday pack kit that I got from them, and it has some fun papers in it. So I tried to pull, I love that blue one. It's got cameras. That's not really appropriate for these strips. So I pulled a bunch of different papers, and what MayMay did is she had 4 papers for 1/2-inch strips and 4 papers for 1/4-inch strips. So you have to decide which ones you want to be more bold. That is going to be a 1/2-inch strip for sure. That I like. And this can be a 1/2-inch strip. So those are all from that same paper pack, as is this. And I think so you only use 1 1/2-inch strip of each for each card. So I'll just be cutting 2 1/2-inch strips. I think that's correct. Let me just double check that in the picture. Yep, you just use 1 of each. So I'll be able to get for 2 cards out of that. And then I needed to supplement it with some things for 1/2-inch strips. And so I have this green polka dot. I wanted to pull out some of the green that was in this. So, and they only need to be 3.5 inches long. So a 1/2 inch by 3.5 and a 1/4 inch by 3.5. So that will work. This, in case I need it, I have. I thought this coordinated well, similar flower style to this and same color. This is actually Stampin' Up! Paper. So I will do, and is it long enough? Yes, it's over 4 inches. So I will do some strips out of this one as well. In fact, I may change and make this a 1/4 inch strip and this a 1/2 inch strip. So those will be my 1/2 inch strips. These will be my 1/4 inch strips. And then I have, I can do either the pink on here or go bold with the orange. And I think I'm going to go a little more subtle with this pink. So 2 different pinks. And then I loved this blue, and even with a 1/4 inch, you're still going to be able to see that those are flowers. You know what? Maybe I'm going to switch, and I'm going to do 1/4 inch with those and 1/2 inch with those. All right. So that's our plan. I can put this away. So I will just start cutting. So I need 2 1/2 inch strips. And that's so I've sped this next section up because it's just a lot of cutting strips to a 1/2 inch and then a 1/4 inch. Using that personal trimmer, and then trimming each one to 3.5 inches, so you guys don't need to see all of that in real time. So just a few minutes of quickly trimming, and then I'll actually probably cut and delete a section of this so you can see as we go through. So I went ahead and cut 2 sets of each, 2 strips, one for each card, but then I'm only going to assemble 1 card on the video. And then I'll come back at the end and show you both cards, because there were a couple of lessons learned. I switched to my other trimmer for this one just because it's hard to read a 1/4 inch on that personal trimmer and get that correct. And it's a little easier to see because there's a good 1/4 inch line on this one. And then I had to use the, in order to hold it in place, I just used a piece of mint tape and a strip of paper to hold that still. A Post-it note would have been more effective, but I didn't have one in my scrapbook room handy, which I need to move some. I need to move some strips up there probably. So get these 1/4 inches, and really, I mean, you could do this. You could change the size on these if you wanted to do a little bit thicker, but these sizes worked really actually pretty well. I did decide to use the bolder orange on this, 1/4 inch, and now I'm going to be cutting the angles. So I did use on the personal trimmer, there is a line, an angle line on there, and I did use that. I'm getting the 3.5 inches now. I did use that, but on the second card, I really just used my scissors and it was just as effective. I just did 1 cut and then used that as a template for the others. So a little less fussy than using the trimmer and being so exact, because you just want a ribbon cut on the end. All right, so let's go to when I start assembling. Now then, what MayMay did was she took a ruler, and just to establish where she was going to start the, okay, so close to the middle, I'm just going to do these. This will all get covered. I'm not going to go all the way. I'm just going corner to corner because I know it's 4 by 4. So if I go corner to corner, then that is the middle of the page. And then I'm just going to start with 2 large ones, and let's see which way we want to do this. I like those 2 next to each other. So I'm going to use, this is art glitter glue, and you just want it 1 little dot for each one to start with, top and bottom, so that you can weave in and out, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's approximately even. And we'll do this one next to it. And you don't want them overlapping, but you want them close to each other. All right, so that's the start of it, and that needs to move up a bit. Getting a little too close on this side. And you know what? This is my first one, so if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. All right, so then I think I need to do the small ones, and that's glued down there, and this one's glued down there. So then I think we do this. I'm just going to lay it out for a minute and make sure I know what I'm doing. And then this one would go under and then over. Those look kind of too similar together. So I'm going to change that out. Oops. So those two. And at some point you do want to glue them. I'm just doing a little test, a little dry fit, let's call it. Right, so this started with big ones, and then we'll go smaller ones on the outside, and then we're going to do bigger ones. I started with 2 small ones, so now it's time for the bigger ones. And I will do inside and outside for those. Right, oops, that's a little off kilter. And not sure which one is. Yeah. So you just alternate under and over. Oh, it's going to be so cute. So I am dry fitting it because it looks like I'm not quite as perfectly centered as I would have liked, but that's okay. All right, so what goes next? So that's 2 big ones, and then I do the small ones. So I think I will do, this one goes under and then over. And this one goes over and then under. Ooh, those two are overlapping a little. There we go. All right, so why do these look so short compared to MayMay's? I used all my pieces. Oh, that's why. Ding dong. I went the wrong way. So this under, over. And the reason I'm doing this one here is to complement this one. They're both pretty bright. And then this one will go on this side. And then I think I'll be able to glue. So this is going to go over this one, under this one, over this one, under this one. That is pretty stinking cute. All right, so I'm just going to tighten this up and start gluing from the inside out. So it's all nice and tight, and then in that process, I'm going to try and even things out a bit. So for the rest of this video, when I go high speed, most of it's about 3 times speed, I'm just going to play a little music in the background because I don't think most of this requires voiceover, and you're probably getting tired of hearing my voice. So I'll just play a little music. Here we go. not bad for a first effort. Thank you, MayMay Made It. And then look how cute that's going to be on there. Then I just have to decide which angle I want. And I think I'm gonna put a little bit, I have plenty of it. I think I'm probably going to put this down the side, or maybe I'm gonna go with that really bright blue since that's the brightest on there. So this is 1 1/4 inches. So if I just cut this at 1 inch, it'll leave me 1/8 of an inch on either side. So I'm gonna cut this to 1 inch. That's gonna be really cute. The other thing you can do is add a ribbon here and tie a bow, and that may happen. I have some pink ribbon, so maybe I'll do some pink ribbon. And then this length is 4 1/4, so if I cut it to 4 inches, it should be the perfect length. And I'm just going to glue that down. Glue this down. There we go. And there is my first card. I will, I think, probably put a sentiment on here. I don't have to. I might just put a sentiment on the inside because that's just so cute. And I don't know that you necessarily need a sentiment on the outside. You can just say, oh, look, I received a beautiful card. Oh, except we need to glue this part down so it doesn't open funky like that. And there is my first card. Pretty cute, I think. And basically from scraps. So I will make another one just like that. And let's see what we can do with our second card. So this will go on white. So I have pre-made some white card bases. I use Nina Classic White cover stock. It's 110 pound. It's very heavy. It's great for the base cards like I did on the other one, and for these card bases. These can sit either this way or this way. I think for this card, because, for example, this arch is so big, I'm going to sit it this way because it's a little too big to sit this way on here. So these two cards will go this way. I will do the same paper pack, but 2 different sets of papers. So this is where my exchange student did some random cutting, so that's why some of this paper is here. So I'm going to use this for the base, and I'm just going to put that on there for one of them. So I've got one that's going to be more florals and one that's going to be sort of geometrics. So this is the geometric one, obviously, and this will be the base for the floral one. So I need to cut this down to fit. This, of course, is a standard A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And so to cut the inside mat, I want 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'll just cut those. So this is my one of the circle templates from my old Creative Memories cutting system. And here are my blades. In the reorganizing and straightening up of my craft room, I was having trouble finding it. So I think what I want to do, I'm not loving this blue, thought I did, but this might be fun on here. So I might try and get some circles out of this. This might work for the florals. This pink is really cute too on this one. So I'm going to start with a couple of largest circles, and it doesn't really matter if they go off the, if I can't fit a whole circle, because they might go off the page. And then this would be one of the largest ones. And I will add embellishments as well. So I'm just going to start gluing some of these things down. The embellishments I will do on probably white or, yeah, probably on white paper, maybe on cream paper, or maybe a light pink paper and ink it onto pink paper. Might be cute even inked onto this paper and cut out there. That might be cute. And then for this one, probably a solid pink. So I'll be gluing down. I'll either cut or we will speed this up. So this is about 3 times speed, and I'm just gluing down the circles, trying to figure out which ones I want to go off the page that I can trim. Just overlapping a few things. Decided I wanted to tuck that, but it's already glued down, and that glue is strong, y'all, and dries really fast, but I can wedge it in there. So it all works out. The paper kit this came out of, it is called One of a Kind by My Mind's Eye. I bought it probably as they were stopping paper sales, but I thought it was fun for teenagers. All right, so there's that card base. Forgot to ink them. Well, that one's just not going to be inked. This one I will ink. I always say it's scrapping in the real world where nothing is perfect, especially not me. We'll get to compare how they look, inked versus not inked. And the ink I'm using is Distress Oxide Black Soot. Difference in the inking and the not inking. I definitely prefer the inking, but you know, everyone's not perfect. So what I might do is just ink the outside of this. Since I can't ink the whole thing. All right. Managed to do that without getting too much on me. Okay, then for sentiments, I have this from MayMay Made It that I'll probably do for all 4 of these cards. And she has tons of stamp sets. Some of them are religious, some of them are not. I'm going to probably give these cards to church, so I'm probably going to put one of these on the outside of each one, and then something on the inside. So this says, "May God wrap his comforting arms around you while he completes his perfect work in you." Just in case people are I'm praying with you and believing and knowing God will make a way. So I will trust with all your heart, and I may put this on the inside. So I'm just going to stamp these onto some white card and come back with you when those are done. And all right, so I finished my 4 cards, and I just wanted to show you the finishing touches and a couple lessons learned. So this was the one that I did on the video. I just finished it off with some little gold stickers. Those are actually from Vicky Booten Print Shop. I did think about doing some gems or buttons. Maybe buttons would have been cute too, but because there's a little, this one doesn't show it as much, but there's a little bit of gold on one of the papers, so I thought I would just bring out that gold. The second one that I did, I figured out that in the center, it's wide, 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 wide. Those are the first 4 that you do, and then the skinny ones go on the outside. And so that actually made it a little easier to do. The overall look is about the same, but it was easier to do with the small ones on the outside. So that's it. And inside, I just stamped one of the longer in-card sentiments from the MayMay Made It it doesn't say the name of this one. Your Faith is Showing stamp set. And on this one, I just stamped Your Faith is Showing. And these I'm going to give to church so that they can send them out to folks who are in need of a prayer or a kudos or something like that. This one, I decided it looked so planetary that I finished it off with some stars. I did stamp from that same stamp set, God is Our Hope. And then inside, I'm praying with you, believing and knowing God will make a way. And so I figured stars were appropriate since this ended up looking a little planetary. Appropriate, I guess, since I used to work at NASA. I see space in everything, right? And then this one I did the same. God, I am praying with you, believing and knowing God will make a way. And so that's 4 cards finished and ready to go. Now I just have to clean up my stamps, clean up my space so that I'm ready to hit some more scraps and make some more cards. So come back and I'll have some more page layouts and some more cards soon to play with some papers and scraps and do some more out of this world crafting. Thanks a lot. Please like and subscribe.